What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman as we race towards D23 here in just over a month, where Marvel Studios will hopefully fill in all the blanks left by whatever small Phase 4 slate announcement they do this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con. There were two huge Easter eggs found for the Fantastic Four tucked in the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. And these aren't just amorphic images, slight nods, or illusions, but rather full-on Fantastic Four Easter eggs that have us thinking here at the channel, and in lieu of the absence of a certain Avengers franchise from the Phase 4 slate announcement, that the Fantastic Four might be making their way into the MCU and announced just within the month. Now we're going to break down both Easter eggs, exactly where they are, what they referenced, and what they mean for the Fantastic Four, and what that means for the MCU and the probable Phase 4 slate announcement. But first, if you could, grab the subscribe button. We're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel related stuff. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. I'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, as promised, not one but 2 huge Fantastic Four Easter eggs found in the back end of Spider-Man Far From Home in the post-credit scenes, the first of which he's swinging through New York on his way to go pick up MJ for their quote-unquote swing date. He glides through the middle of the newly renovated Avengers Tower. Now, ever since this Avengers Tower was shown in the original trailer, a lot of people guessed it was either going to be the Oscorp building announced on the back end of introducing the Sinister Six, and or could be the Baxter building, the renovated headquarters for the Fantastic Four. And it turns out we might have been right about one of those. Now, Peter eventually gets MJ, they go swinging through the city, and I think it's awesome that they showed just how terrified she would be, like a normal person, at the velocity with which you'd be swinging and the altitude that you'd be at. That would be an intense and absolutely terrifying experience. But right here we see a quick shot of not only the specific street corner with which they land, but then that construction stanchion in the background has words written across the top with some numbers. We're going to get to that in a second, but these 2 combined Easter eggs really knock this out of the park. Now, the first of which, with a little Photoshop magic and brightening up, you can clearly see the street corner is East 41st Street and Library Way. Now, if you didn't read Fantastic Four comics, this may not ring a bell, but for any of us who did, this is literally a block down the street, a very famous street corner right near the Baxter building. So this definitely implies that if there is going to be a Baxter building, it is around the corner, and literally in front of that building they may be renovating. Also, this isn't a coincidence. They could have put any streets they wanted there. Instead, they chose to put these ones. Now, if this isn't enough to convince you, then it's the second Easter egg that really goes ahead and puts the nail in the Fantastic Four coffin, if you will. Considering they're actually about to be birthed into the MCU, I suppose that's a horrible analogy. Either way, let's go ahead and zoom back out. You can see right there, the words are a little out of focus, and I apologize, but what it says in the background there is, "We can't wait to show you what comes next." And from left to right, you've got 1, 2, 3, question mark. Now, guys, you literally don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to know what number comes next, but that's not even the best part of this Easter egg. Look at the colors on the numbers. The left one all the way there, that's red for Human Torch. The yellow one is meant to imply the Thing. The third one is meant to imply Mr. Fantastic, it's blue. And that fourth one, well, it's white or clear, meant to imply Invisible Woman. This is a meta Easter egg, not only 4 for Fantastic Four, but each color representing a member of the team. And when you take that into account with exactly what street corner they're on for this sign to be placed, well, then it leads us to believe that for sure the Fantastic Four are right around the corner, pun intended, from entering the MCU. Now, in the Phase 4 slate announcement that we're going to get at San Diego Comic-Con, like I've been saying all week, don't expect much, maybe just a couple of nuggets or Easter eggs and or some concept art or some plot analysis for the first 2 movies they're going to announce next year, not a full slate announcement. But with D23 right around the corner, and in lieu of not having an Avengers franchise announced at this very moment, which is different than it's been for Marvel for the last 10 years, it makes perfect sense for them to go ahead and introduce the Fantastic Four in Phase 4 as if it were specifically meant to be, and then wait till Phase 5 to introduce your next Avengers title. Now, there's a lot of reasons the Fantastic Four makes sense to bring in as the next team into the MCU, outside of the reason that there's no Avengers team right now, and it has a lot to do with the recency of the X-Men. Now, Kevin Feige got in front of this as soon as the Fox properties were bought by Disney Disney even before the ink was dry and it was finalized, and said it's going to be some time before we see the X-Men in the MCU. And of course, guys, that makes a lot of sense. They just released this abysmal Dark Phoenix movie. Rest in peace, but it can't die quick enough, and it seems as though it's already gone away. You give it another 3 or 4 years, they throw the X-Men into pre-production, and then by the time the movie comes out 5, 6, even 7 years from now, we will have all forgotten this Dark Phoenix movie and really all the movies that go with it, except for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and maybe Logan. Now, there are some outliers there, but really the X-Men were just too recent, when the Fantastic Four boots have really been under the radar and old enough at this point. I mean, shoot, they share Chris Evans as an actor in the first trilogy, and it appears as though that's not even going to be a problem. No one's going to remember, no one's going to care. It makes a lot of sense that you put this team first instead of the X-Men. Plus, they've never been done any justice at all, and with the rogues gallery like Galactus and Doctor Doom and ancillary characters like the Silver Surfer that they know are fan favorites and that we're all dying to see in the MCU, it just makes a lot of sense to go ahead and put them first out of all of the Fox properties, leading into some crazy Secret Invasion crossover, perhaps in Phase 5, where the MCU crosses the Fantastic Four over with the Avengers. Literally can't wait for that. Now, we've had a ton of casting rumors regarding the Fantastic Four. Of course, you guys are probably well versed in that already, and they even recropped up real recently with some new names. However, casting rumors are just that, rumors, and the Fantastic Four are going to take time, even if they started before the ink was dry. Like I said, they still have a ton of work to do on a script, how they want to introduce the characters, if we'll see some of the other characters in other people's movies first like they've done in the past, or whether they're going to use this Doctor Doom script that still exists via Legion's director over at Fox that has met with Kevin Feige at this point with the endorsement of the Russos. Of course, really all of this leads to one major villain that we all want to see on the big screen, namely Galactus, something they've completely botched in prior attempts, and there's already significant Easter eggs for Galactus in the MCU. There's a very famous one during Guardians of the Galaxy 1 that a lot of YouTubers have already dissected, myself included, during the explanation of the Power Stone from the Collector to the Guardians of the Galaxy. There's also a slight one in Avengers Endgame when the Ancient One is explaining to the Hulk how the Infinity Stones help protect the timeline that they're attached to from the darkest terrors in the universe, and that the absence of even one stone would make the timeline susceptible to those darkest terrors. Well, now there's no Infinity Stones in the major 616 timeline, thanks to Avengers Endgame. Not only the destruction of the original Infinity Stones that were inherent to our timeline at the beginning of the movie by Thanos, but then, of course, Cap returning the other Infinity Stones before turning into Old Man Cap. That leaves our timeline without any Infinity Stones and open to the greatest terrors in the universe, i.e. Galactus, and of course preceded by his herald and fan favorite Silver Surfer, and we're all dying to see it, right? But not so fast. I did a video yesterday that I'll link at the end of this as to why it's in Marvel Studios' best interest to go ahead and announce another Avengers movie, even though Avengers Endgame has just concluded. It's one of the most popular things in the zeitgeist worldwide right now. It's hard to ever reach that status, and if you do, one of the main things that you want to do is keep that status, and you do that by staying relevant, which means you have to release another title. I doubt that Marvel Studios is going to come out of the gate here at D23 and or San Diego Comic-Con and announce another Avengers movie and the Fantastic Four. Rather, Marvel has been so good at pacing their marketing, at keeping all eyes on them, a lot like how the NFL does. They always have a little bit of news, they always have the next piece of news. They're not going to announce these things simultaneously, not even a month apart, at San Diego Comic-Con and or D23. We're only going to hear of one. It just doesn't make sense for them to double up. So I think best case scenario, we either hear of an Avengers 5 title coming at the end of Phase 4, probably an untitled Avengers 5 that we can all go on guessing for the next 3 years, or they're going to announce an unnamed Fantastic Four film for the end of Phase 4 and won't give us an Avengers title. That's something we'll have to wait for till Phase 5. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments about this being an either or scenario. Do you agree with me that there's no way Marvel Studios is going to go ahead and drop both of these movies even close to proximity? Let me know what you think in the comments about that, as well as these Easter eggs in Spider-Man Far From Home. How crazy is this that they went this far, that they went this close and on the nose to introduce the Fantastic Four at the end, and how many of you guys missed it? And quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which is at the 500,000 subscriber mark, all you have to do, hit the sub button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video. We're also giving away another PlayStation 4 Pro over on my Spotify account, Allfires. We're about 3/4 of the way there. If you want to get in on that giveaway, all you have to do is jump through a couple more hoops. Go ahead and hit the link down in the comments and the descriptions below. If you have a Spotify account, great. If you don't, it's free to make one. All you need is an email. Follow my account, Allfires, stream the song, screenshot that, then send the screenshot to everythingalwaysYT@gmail.com. Again, that's everythingalwaysYT@gmail.com. We're about 3/4 of the way there. Far fewer people are going to do this than sub here at the channel, and it's a great way of boosting your odds of winning a PlayStation 4 Pro. But again, if you want to win the PlayStation or any of the other prizes we announce here throughout the year at the channel, all the same rules always apply. Hit the sub button, then hit the notification bell. Make sure to leave a like and a comment on this video, and the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Guys, thanks for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.